Welcome to the second video in the tutorial series on how to start an online shop in South Africa. We're going to be talking about how to pick a domain name, how to register and reserve it, and how to get it online. How thoroughly should you think about your domain name? Is it really that important? If you have a quality website and business, people will visit your site no matter what the domain is, right? Well, not so fast. You see, your domain name is the key element of your website. It can make or break you. So it's crucial to choose a domain name that works for your business. But wait, why is your domain name so important? It's your first impression. Your URL is the first thing your visitors see. A good domain name can make a positive and lasting impression, while a bad domain name can send visitors running. Also keep in mind that it affects your SEO. While exact match domains are no longer a necessity, keywords in your domain name can still help your SEO ranking. It defines your brand. We'll talk about this in a minute. Your domain name is a branding opportunity. The right domain name can increase brand recognition. These elements are only a few of the many reasons why your domain name is so important. How do you choose the right domain name then? When you choose your domain name extension, you can be sure of one thing. .com is still the best. According to research from Domain Name Stat, 43% of all domains have the .com extension. Why? Well, .com is the most familiar and easiest to remember. While there are many successful websites with the .net and .org, your website will probably do better if it has .com as its extension. Our advice, go with .com, and if it's already taken, then try .co.za. .co.za is South Africa's most recognizable extension. Choose a brandable name over a generic name. Creative and brandable are always better than generic. Remember, your domain name is how visitors will find, remember, and share your company on the web. It is the foundation of your brand. Here's the main difference between a brandable and a generic domain name. A brandable domain name is unique and stands out from the competition, while a generic domain name is usually stuffed with keywords and unmemorable. For example, do you know the difference between healthinsurance.net and newhealthinsurance.com? Or healthinsuranceSort.com? Probably not, right? These are horribly generic. They don't have any meaning. You don't hear anyone talking about how awesome insurance.com is. Variations of the word insurance will increase the competition and make it blend in even more. Sites like UnitedHealthCareOnline.com and Anthem.com stand out because they stand for something. When people hear those domain names, there's a trust factor there. Here's how to find a more brandable domain name. Number 1, create new words. 2, use existing words. 3, use domain name generators. Something else to keep in mind, short domain names are better than long domain names. According to research from datagenetics.com, a blog by Nick Berry, the most common name length is approximately 12 characters. Aim for 6 to 14 characters, and remember, the shorter the better. Most likely the shorter domain names are taken a long time ago and sold for thousands of dollars. If you can't find something short, make it brandable. Think of some of the most popular websites in the world. What comes to mind? Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Yahoo, CNN. One big thing they have in common is they're all easy to spell. Your visitors should be able to type your domain name without a problem. If you have to explain the spelling more than once for it to be understood, it's too complicated. The last thing you want is for potential visitors to mistype your domain and end up on a different website. Here's an easy way to test this. Tell 10 people your potential domain name and ask them to spell it. If more than a few people struggle to spell it, you need to simplify it. Next, make sure that it is easy to pronounce. As easily as your domain name rolls off the tips of your fingers, it should roll off the tip of your tongue. This makes it easier for visitors to share your domain name by word of mouth and makes it easier for you to share your sites with friends and potential customers. You can test this the same way as with the spelling. Write your domain name on a piece of paper and ask 10 people to pronounce it. If more than a few people struggle to pronounce it, you should probably simplify it. Here's what to keep in mind. You want your domain name to be passed along easily. The only way for that to be possible is if it's easy to spell and it's easy to pronounce. Remember how your domain name should always be easy to spell and pronounce? Hyphens and numbers make it more difficult. Imagine explaining Facebook if it had a hyphen in there. Consider using niche keywords that reflect your website. Including a niche keyword that fits with your market can help improve your SEO. You need to tread carefully here. If you try to awkwardly stuff keywords into your domain name, it comes across as generic, like we talked about before. If you choose to use keywords, put the keywords at the beginning of your domain. That's where they'll be the most powerful for your ranking. Are you ready to marry your domain? You should be, because it will be one of the biggest elements that define your business and brand for years to come. If you decide to change the domain in the future, it will cost you money, branding, and SEO rankings. In short, it's not worth it. When you're choosing your domain, think long term. For example, if your company helps businesses optimize their websites for SEO, you could choose a domain like optimizedseo.com. Check if it's not trademarked or already used. Before you move forward with a specific domain name, check to see if the name is available on social media sites, as well if there are any trademarks already registered to the name. To build your brand, it is ideal to have the same name across your domain and social networks. This builds familiarity and makes it easy for your visitors, fans, and customers to find you around the web. Avoid legal issues. You should stay away from names that already have trademarks. Finally, use domain name generators when you get stuck. At this point, you should have at least a general idea of some possible keywords to have in your domain. Some of these words may already be taken, trademarked, or just don't have the sound you're looking for. That's where domain name generators come in play. These generators can turn your ideas into fresh, available domains. Once you find your perfect domain name, write it down, and in the description below, find the link to domains.co.za. I'm now going to take you through the process of registering your domain name and after that getting hosting for it. Once on domains.co.za, type in the name you've decided on. For demo purposes, I've decided to register ereach.co.za. Once you type in your preferred domain name, click on search and it'll find if it's available and you'll see what it costs. Right now, a .co.za domain costs $79. Alright, so here's where we're going to be choosing hosting. Under web hosting, click add web hosting and let's try and pick one here. When getting started, you can always upgrade at any time. So it's always a good idea to start with the smallest package and then work up from there. Right, so I'm going to use the domain I've already chosen. We can see 1 month free. Okay, 89 free domain. So over here we even get a free domain with our hosting plan. Just click continue. I don't want any WHOIS privacy. Web hosting has hosting. Okay, cool. Let's go continue. So over here we can see the breakdown. It's really cool that I get my free domain with my hosting. Order summary. It's going to be $94. Alright, so enter your personal information. I'm going to type in mine and I'll see you in the next screen. Alright, so there I've got my domain registered and I've got a month's hosting already for it, which means we can now go to the next video. I'll see you guys there. That's when we'll start installing WordPress and WooCommerce, which will be running our online shop. Thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one.